Well, that was random. What's up, guys? Welcome back to The Educated Barfly. I wonder if you guys know what that clip was from. If you know what that clip was from, you will know the name of this drink. And now I don't want to call it out. I kind of want to just do the whole thing without telling you what the name of this drink is. It is a drink by Oskar. I'll give you some clues. It is a drink by Oskar Kinberg. It's a culinary style cocktail. And it features some ingredients with some really flavorful, strong flavor profile. We're going to be using a couple of different things. I have provided you links below so that you can order some of these things. They're not expensive, but you will have to wait for them in the mail unless you have like a herbal store around your house. Basically what we did is we made a Meadowsweet syrup. So Meadowsweet is little white wildflowers that grow in damp conditions and benefit from being made into tea. It tastes a bit like, it tastes a little bit like mate. It tastes a little bit like, you know what mate is? Like yerba mate from Argentina. Marius doesn't know what yerba mate is. So yerba mate is like another, it's like a collection of herbs that you put inside this little gourd. You put hot water in there. You put a very specific style of straw in there and you drink it. And it is very savory and kind of minty and very herbal. It has a very herbal flavor. And this Meadowsweet tastes a little bit like that. We're also using a kiwi. And the kiwi, which is a native of Southeast Asia.
I'm not going to fall for that.
See? So me and Marius had this whole discussion off camera, and I was trying to prompt him into sort of a discussion for you guys on camera about the kiwi, because I said the kiwi is a native of Southeast Asia, and he said, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Isn't it from New Zealand? And I was like, he's like, they're called kiwis. They're named after a fruit. And then I was like, well, yeah, but there's a bird named a kiwi as well. And the bird is probably, I think the bird is probably on the New Zealand flag, or like the national bird of New Zealand. I'm not sure if it's on the flag, but it's like the national bird of New Zealand. So I'm sure that they are named after the bird. And then Marius said, well, yeah, well, the bird looks like the fruit, which is kind of true because it's brown and sort of round with a long beak, right? But it's like a kind of round sort of bird, if my imagination is recalling it correctly. That said, I'm assuming that the New Zealanders would name themselves after a bird and not a piece of fruit. The other thing that I want to tell you guys about this is last time I did this, which called for a full kiwi, I actually dropped the whole thing in, skin and all, and like half of you were horrified that I had not removed the skin from the kiwi. The thing about the skin is that, yes, the little hairs do irritate people a little bit. Like I remember even as a kid, I would like bite into a kiwi, like skin and all, and then like the top, like my lips would be kind of sore from the thing, from the skin, but it's actually really good for you. It's got lots of nutrients. But today, just to kind of stave off the controversy, I'm going to skin and peel this one. So I'm going to cut the ends off, okay? And then also, I'm actually going to save one slice.
I would have just cut it in half.
I'm going to just save one slice for our garnish at the end, okay? I'm going to discard these, right, over here. And then, what do you mean cut it in half?
Cut it in half, you can take a spoon and you can like spoon it out.
But why would I do that when I could just, like, with a very sharp knife, just to do this?
Because it's quicker, I don't know.
I don't think that the spoon technique is quicker, not to mention the fact that I didn't pre-prep a spoon, so then I'm going to have to go in the drawer and get the spoon, and that actually sounds like a lot more, where I can just sit here and talk to you and peel as I go, right? We're just going to remove the skin from the kiwi. I probably should have had like a little receptacle to put all the skin in, but I wasn't thinking that far ahead, I guess. So I'm just going to put it in a little pile with my kiwi ends over there, and then hopefully people will just forget they're there, and they won't just divert their eyes back to the kiwi pile saying, oh, I wish you would just get rid of that kiwi pile. Oh, the horror, the kiwi pile. I'm just kidding. I don't think anyone's going to do that. All right, and I'll just quarter it to make it for easy muddling. Okay. And we're just going to drop this all in here, like so, one kiwi. We're going to add 3/8 of an ounce of lime juice. We're going to add 3/4 of an ounce of the Meadowsweet syrup. And we're going to add 2 ounces of this still strength Avua cachaça. The still strength comes in at 90 proof, which a lot of people say Still strength is a 90 proof, and then I'm just like thinking like, you're thinking about whiskey, but the very fact of the matter is that this is a pot distilled product. It can only be distilled one time. So 90 proof for a something that's been distilled one time in a pot still, not even a column still, in a pot still, that's actually pretty high. All right, then we're just gonna muddle up our kiwi, and we're very important to double strain this cocktail because kiwis have seeds, and those seeds will get in your cocktail if you do not have a fine strainer. So unless you want seeds in your teeth, I think you should make sure that you have a fine strainer with you. I'm like focusing on this and sort of losing my train of thought as I do it. Also, dudes, can we not talk about the motorcycle outside and talk about this awesome shirt that Marius made? It is an awesome shirt. I love it. It's one of my favorites. And not to mention the fact that I thought it was very random when Marius first created the shirt. So he created the shirt. He was like, oh, I want to do some pop culture reference shirts that say Educated Barfly, and he made a Jurassic Park one. And I just could not figure out like why that would be something. Like recently I got a shirt from a company called Mover and Shaker. I wore it in a video. It says Last Word, and it's a Led Zeppelin album, but Last Word, Led Zeppelin, it kind of just fits and makes sense. Whereas Marius just randomly chose Jurassic Park, but I gotta say that after he made the shirt and I bought it, and I love it, I mean, it's a really good quality shirt, I started noticing more and more people wearing Jurassic Park shirts where I wouldn't have noticed it before. It's really kind of odd. I didn't realize that Jurassic Park is actually in the popular culture more, like as much as it actually is. And not only that, in this last week, I saw no fewer than 4 people with a Jurassic Park shirt on. So I guess it's kind of a popular thing, and I like it. We got our fly kind of encased in red amber. We got like little drinks down here, and it says Educated Barfly. What's not to love?
Oh, I never got that amber.
Yeah, it's sort of encased in red amber. Isn't that what I mean, I don't know. I mean, in the poster, it's not really supposed to be that, but I just keep on thinking of the mosquito encased in amber, and I sort of like, that kind of fits. It just all sort of fits, you know? And instead of palm trees down here, we have little drinks and stuff. Now, I don't ever do anything in these weird margarita glass shapes, really, ever. But, you know, I guess like if you put a tumbler or if you put like a coupe, it's not going to be a really iconic shape that little. So you sort of have to do something that's iconic. And anyway, let's shake our cocktail. All right.
Would you consider those glasses extinct?
Yes, they are distinct. That's why I think
extinct.
It's extinct.
You know, like dinosaurs?
Well, I think that this margarita glass should be extinct if it's not. I will say that. All right, let's take our cocktail and just strain it. You see all that pulp? You're going to try and close the gate. See, there's a lot of pulp coming out. It's very, very pulpy, dude. But kind of like a really good... really good texture. I'm digging the texture, but you see, it's like the liquid is sort of fighting to come out from the kiwi. I'm excited because this Meadowsweet syrup is something that's kind of new for me. I've been having a lot of fun sort of recreating the Oskar Kinberg recipes because they are clean. They are very clean. And they are very classic looking, but at the same time, they have such wonderfully culinary ingredients and such, there we go. Look at all of that. See, you do not want that. So that drink got like caught up in the jelly of the muddled kiwi. Anyway, I don't know. I feel like I'm going to get yelled at by all the Australians here, but do you think that Steve the bartender would have a little insight into this sort of kiwi argument? I know he's not from New Zealand, he's Australian, but like, aren't the New Zealanders and the Australians like really simpatico? Or is that just like, I made that up in my head?
I don't know. I would think so. But maybe they're like
I mean, you're
American
from Norway,
Canadians.
what do you know? But what?
Maybe it's like Americans and Canadians.
Oh, yeah, but I don't know. I don't necessarily know stuff about Canadians. Like, actually, I know, even though I spent a lot of my summers in Canada when I was a kid, like a few like really like summers in the like kind of height of my youth, I still don't know that much about Canada. Canada's a huge place. I'm sure like the United States, it's not like Florida and Louisiana are any more similar than Texas and Los Angeles. I mean, it's a huge place and there's lots of different people. I would think that, well, I mean, Australia is also a huge place, but it's not that populated. It's only populated on one side. And I don't know how big New Zealand is. I'm ignorant on New Zealand. If anybody is from New Zealand and they want to sort of enlighten me about New Zealand, comment below. All right, let's try this cocktail, huh? Shall we? I'm intrigued by it. It's calling to me. It's green.
It's very green.
Holy moly. That is... Man, I gotta really think about that. It is... Wow, that's like some strong flavors, man. That is, I gotta say that the kiwi and the Meadowsweet syrup really go hand in hand. And obviously the cachaça is something that you taste like right off the bat. But that is just like, that is like nothing I've ever tasted before. It is, I mean, it's like the kiwi with the Meadowsweet syrup has this very almost like fresh, vibrant tea-like flavor, and you've got the funkiness of the cachaça, which, you know, cachaça like really tastes, you know, cachaça is made with sugarcane juice, the same way rum agricole is made. So it has that sort of grassy funk to it that like kind of encompasses it, kind of like sort of encompasses the whole cocktail. Like you can, but everything is just like really well balanced. It's just like, the depth of flavor is just like it's incredible. Seriously, this is an achievement. I mean, every drink should be this good. This is like, and I'm gonna crush this cocktail, but it's made with 90 proof cachaça. It's like, I don't know. I mean, I'm in danger of drinking the whole thing and not having a thumbnail, so I will just sayonara right now. If you like our channel, I just like, bleh. Okay. Here it is, my friends. If you haven't figured out, I remember I started this with a mystery about what the name of the cocktail was. It is called a Fistfull of Dollars by Oskar Kinberg. I'm not sure why he named it after this Sergio Leone Western, but I think it's really good and you guys should drink it. So if you like our channel, please hit like and subscribe and check us out on Patreon for exclusive content. Patreon.com/theeducatedbarfly. You can tell that I've been drinking many cocktails today because I am starting to not be able to speak. I don't know how many more of these I can do, guys. I think I drank a little too much. All right, see you guys next time.